Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to another oddly specific romance recommendation. So this book was requested, I believe, by my friend Ashton, who's been a long-time follower and subscriber, and she's amazing. And again, 99.9% sure that she requested this, so you can thank her down below for requesting this one if you're interested. So today I have some edging recommendations for you. Now, this one is under my oddly specific recs instead of like a taboo rec because I don't really think edging is super taboo or anything. It does a lot of times pair in with BDSM, and so you're going to find that pretty much all the recommendations that I have pair in with BDSM because orgasm denial is another name for edging. Sometimes it lasts a long time. Sometimes it's for days. Sometimes it involves toys that prevent orgasm. So yeah, there are a lot of different ways to get to this, but we're going to go through. This is going to be one of my quickie recommendations, so I'm not going to go deep into the plot for any of these, but if you like edging, if you'd like to see if you like it, we're going to mention these. It might not, when you read these, like be called edging or orgasm denial in it, so just be aware of that. And I also think like you can find this in a lot of romances, and you might not even notice it. It might come in some forms of maybe being like, you can't come until I tell you to. That's usually involved in BDSM. Or it might be like, wait for me, wait for it. Or let's see how long we can go. Like those kind of scenarios, right? So like I said, they usually pair more with BDSM, and that's what we're going to see with a lot of these. And so, of course, we're going to start out with one of the series that just took everything by storm. Bookstagram, TikTok, BookTube, like everybody's been reading these. For the most part, I've heard all great things, and I'm going to show you two of them in this series. Actually, the first one, Praise, which, look at this beautiful cover from cover to cover. I mean, I do love Daddy Emerson's. This one was just easier to grab because it was on top. So there's Praise, which is the first book in the series. This one is an age gap. The Salacious Players Club. This is a sex club that is owned by the like main protagonist in each of the books. Like each book has a protagonist who is a partner in this sex club. And in this first book, we see Emerson, who is estranged kind of from his son, and his son's ex-girlfriend comes to his office, which is at his home, to pick up her half of the deposit because they moved out of their apartment and the father had like paid the deposit, and so it all went back to him. And so our heroine has to go and get it. And I believe her name is Charlie. It's been just a hot minute, so I'm pretty sure it's Charlie. Yeah. So Charlie has to go and get it. And the thing is, Emerson, he sometimes, not always, but a lot of time has submissives at his house. And he isn't always like just fucking this submissive all the time. He just likes them there kind of as like a comfort, which I love that idea. And so but anyway, the point being, he thinks that one of his friends sent him over a submissive. He was going to take a break because like there's an app how you get like paired with people who have the same kinks as you. And a lot of girls that he'd been seeing, just like the kinks just like weren't aligning quite right. And so he was going to take a break. And when this beautiful girl who like fits into his qualification shows up and he tells her to kneel and she does it, he has no idea that this is his son's ex-girlfriend. And what did I say? That I wasn't going to go into full explanations. And then I just did. I just went into heavy detail. Anyway, point being, that's how the relationship starts. And so there definitely is a lot of like edging in this one because like I said, he isn't always wanting to fuck the submissive. Like sometimes it's just having her sitting there waiting on him. Not even like waiting on him as like getting him stuff, but just waiting for him. Him knowing that her full attention is always on him, and then he gives attention back, and it's pretty beautiful. So there's definitely some good edging in here. Now, I guess part of the reason why I went into so much like detail about that one is that the other one in the series that has some pretty interesting edging, as well as like over orgasming, like this dom shows it to the hero both ways. So we have Mercy. Now, this is about the estranged son, Beau, and also the ex-boyfriend of Charlie. And he ends up in an interesting scenario with one of his dad's business partners. Her name is Maggie, and she doesn't think that she's really into kink, but she ends up taking the quiz and discovering that she is a brat tamer and a dom. And she's like, what? And she ends up getting paired with Beau. And when they meet face to face and he realizes, like, they realize who each other is, they're like, there's no way this can work. And he's like, but I want to try it, so we should try it. So there are times where she makes him wear certain things so that he can't come. And then there are times where he's being a naughty boy and needs to be punished, and she literally almost orgasms him into a puddle. So this one has both. So good times, good times. You know, a little bit of good boy coming along with this. Gotta love it. Okay, then we have one, which I wouldn't call this one officially a BDSM one, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that happens in this one. So we have Does It Hurt? This one has a whole list of trigger warnings because it's H.E. Carlton, so make sure you check it out. But this one involves Enzo and Sawyer. And she is a bit of a grifter and a loner because she's on the run for certain reasons, which we don't know. And so she has a one-night stand with Enzo, and she steals his identity because that's what she's been doing. She's been having one-night stands with men and stealing their identity. The thing is, they had a really crazy connection, and so Enzo is, like, seriously offended that she did that, and he wants a bit of revenge. So he takes her on his boat with him and literally gets some kind of revenge. And they end up stranded on a tiny little island with just a lighthouse and a very strange lighthouse keeper who says that his lighthouse is haunted. So what are they going to do? And there is a lot of hate sex in here, and a lot of that hate sex involves him denying her an orgasm for a lot of it. So, you know, he's not the nicest guy through this, but, you know, she did steal his identity and try to steal all his money. So she's not the brightest girl either. Then we have a really fun one. We have the heavy hitter. We have the madam, the queen. We have Pam Godwin. And this is Lessons in Sin. This was her most recent release. And boy, am I excited because she said we may have a new book by the end of the year. Okay, she said that. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm very excited. But anyway, this one is a forbidden romance. It's a student teacher. It's also a priest romance. And we have Father Magnus, who is the principal of an all-girls school. He's also a Catholic priest. But he has joined the Life of the Cloth as a little bit of self-flagellation, self-punishment in a certain way. And our heroine has been put in this school as punishment and also a place to keep her a virgin until she graduates and is forced into a business arranged marriage by her family. And she wants to do whatever she can to get out of this school. And so what she decides to do is to continually hit on Father Magnus because she's heard that that's a way to get yourself expelled. Well, the thing is, her mother has made a deal with Magnus that she will not get expelled no matter what she does. So what's he going to do? He's got to find a way to punish her for teasing him nonstop. And it leads to some very interesting scenarios because Pam Godwin does that. Yeah, she does do that. All right, then we have 3 Hard Lessons by Nikki Sloan. Man, I haven't talked about this series in so long. This whole series has a lot of great, like, intro to BDSM books that are still very sexy and fun, that have a lot of great tropes in it. So this one is our hero. I believe he's like this tech genius, and there's this club, the Blindfold Club, where the women who work there basically get they get like bought for the night. You know, it is escort service to a certain degree, with some fun kinkiness involved. And our hero gets an eyeful of the heroine and he wants to buy her no matter what. So he offers an egregious amount of money, which normally they immediately is like, that's a no-no. We don't let people go bananas. But there's just something about him. And so our heroine agrees and then ends up agreeing to take, like, to just up and leave her life for a while and move with him halfway across the world. And he's really starting to explore the BDSM life. And there are some seriously interesting scenarios in this one. This does have some like sharing and learning that happens that can in BDSM clubs. So just know that you may be in that scenario if you're reading this. But that involves like, I remember this one scene like so clearly of the heroine, like her and the other submissive literally trying to eat the other person out first, and not come before the other person so that they win a prize. It was hot. Nikki Sloan knows what she's doing, okay, y'all? Who's ready for the frat boy? Okay, I'm ready for the frat boy. Then we have Unbound by Cara McKenna, and this one is fascinating, okay? I have to thank my friend Serafina, I think, for recommending this one. This one's about a hero who's a recluse. He's also a submissive who's into, like, bondage and stuff, but he lives in the middle of nowhere. Our heroine is going on a hike. She ends up getting hurt. He takes her to his cabin, and they end up having sexy times where she is the dumb, like, she's tying him up and doing some light punishments, including orgasm denial to him, making him please her as much as he can, and he absolutely loves it. So this was a really fun one. It also included the, like, survival trope, which I really like forced proximity survival books, so it feeds both things for me. Then we have The Dare by Harley LaRue. This is just a quickie, but this one leads into The Losers, which is now a full book, which part 2 is coming soon, but you can start with this to see if this is something you're going to like. Harley LaRue writes pretty intense BDSM into hers, and this one involves a party that happens after high school, and Jessica Martin goes to this, and there is, how do we say his name? Is his name Magnus? How do we say his name? Why doesn't it say Manson? Sorry. Manson, and she ends up daring to do what he wants for the night, and it involves pleasuring him and his friends, and then maybe they will pleasure her at the end. Maybe. So there's that. Again, this definitely extends into Losers, where there's all different kinds of BDSM that happens in this one. So it's great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Also, this ebook is not available on Amazon because of pirating issues. So you need to get this from Eden Books or go to like Harley's website to find it. But you can buy the paperback on Amazon, but you cannot buy the ebook. So just wanted to warn you about that if you go try to find that one. Then we have some Sierra Simone to share. So I wanted to share books 2 and 3 in the, is it the New Camelot series? I can't even remember. I think it's the New Camelot series. So of course you'll want to start with American Queen, you do, but I feel like edging and some of the like the more dynamic play stuff is really happening in American Prince and American King. So yeah, this is a trilogy. This is an MMF relationship between the president, the first lady, and the vice president. And it's also maybe kind of sort of involves like reincarnation, but I don't want to tell you how. This series, you guys, is the first series that really just, by Sierra Simone, that blew my mind, because it's the first complete trilogy by her I read. It's also some of the first MMF I read, and I just, I loved it so much because the Max, the dom hero, will like dom both of them, and then sometimes like both guys will dom Greer, and sometimes we're in other scenarios. Like, I just love when we mix up dynamics and stuff, and definitely Max likes to be in control of everybody's orgasm, so just know that you will get lots of edging and fun shenanigans if you read this. Now we have another gay romance, and this one is Saint by Sierra Simone, and this one involves a lot of like self-edging, even some self-harm to that point, because this is a second chance romance, and our hero has actually become a monk for some time. He had some serious mental health issues, and he has turned to his faith and turned to this. And his ex-fiance is supposed to be marrying someone else, but he comes to write an article at the monastery where he is, and they end up going on a road trip together. And our hero, he is actually taking like a vow of silence at this time too, so he like can't speak, so they can't talk through their issues. And he also has taken a vow of chastity, and to fully be chaste, to not even bring self-pleasure, he has been wearing a cock cage. And this is not healthy. That is not something you should wear for an extended amount of time, but it is what our hero has decided to do. So yeah, this one definitely has a lot of self-edging, like literally crazy sauce. But Sierra Simone still finds a way to make it like so emotional and beautiful because she's the master and that's how she does it, okay? 2 more to talk about. Now, one of them is Master of the Mountain by Cherise Sinclair. This one involves this heroine who, with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, they go to this like retreat, which ends up being like a sex retreat that she didn't know, where people are like sharing their partners. And so she had no idea this is what she was walking into. She thought she was going to spend a romantic week with her boyfriend, and no, he went there because he wants to fuck other people. So it's awful. It's pretty awful. Now, the guy who like owns these cabins, he's a part of the life, and they wanted to create a place that was like a safe space for kinksters and people in the lifestyle to be able to come. But our heroine, I believe she's also a plus size heroine, and really dealing with these issues, she ends up being like going back to his cabin with him, and he's in charge of her for the week, and it's great. Edging included. And then the last one I want to mention, and this one, I know I've mentioned some pretty like intense BDSM along the way, but now Carrie Silverwood takes it to another level. So just be prepared. This one, Take Me, Break Me, involves a heroine who wants to submerge herself into the lifestyle for kind of like a documentary. And so there is a friend who has lived in life and is into a lot of the kinks, who agrees to be her master. Now, they choose to do a master-slave dynamic and like go into it like full bore. And so it's really intense. That's what I'll say. But edging, it does have. And I wanted to bring you some recs that not everybody would recommend. So there you go. Check those out. So anyway, I hope these videos have you nice and these books have you nice and titillated and ready to go check these books out. I will have them all linked down below. I have them always linked down below in every video that I do, so check those out. Make sure you like this channel and subscribe for more recommendations. I put out new videos 3 to 4 times a week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!